Hello and welcome to our flipped instructional session for Unit 11, Lesson 1. We are moving into some more empires and we're going to take a look at the Byzantine Beauty today. Since we are starting at Lesson 1 in this unit, when we start the lesson, we are going to kind of have a unit introduction here as opposed to our lesson introduction. So the resources for this unit will be on the next page. This is a great time to remind you to go into your course materials. Make sure you have the notes guides for Unit 11. Course materials, recordings and resources, and then you can click on those recordings by unit and see the Unit 11 s'more flyer at the top heading. Okay, so make sure you've got that printed out and ready to go. You can also go to the extra credit for Unit 11, and the notes guides are right there for you to print out. And then at the end of the unit, when you've taken all your notes, you can submit those for extra credit. So feel free to do that. But let's go ahead and take a look at our unit introduction. So here we have the glory of Rome has faded in Western Europe, but it remains strong in the East. The Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire blended Greco-Roman and Western Asian cultures to create its own splendor. The Byzantine Empire flourished for more than 7 centuries. South of the empire, a new religion grew up on the Arabian Peninsula and spread quickly as its followers forged a powerful empire. Why did Islam spread so quickly along the trade routes of North Africa, and what lured traders to cities like Timbuktu? On the next screen, we will get to our lesson introduction. And this is where we will find our lesson resources. Let's start by taking a look at our objectives for this lesson. We want to analyze maps to assess the advantages of Byzantine's location. That would be Constantinople. Recognize that a blend of Eastern and Western elements resulted in a unique Byzantine culture. We want to identify the characteristics of Byzantine art. Explain the purpose and importance of Justinian's code. Identify Justinian as the 6th century emperor responsible for developing a code of law. Identify Theodora as a powerful empress and Justinian's wife and aide. And identify Hagia Sophia as the great architectural achievement of Justinian's reign. Okay, so we have a lot of objectives in this lesson. Make sure you've printed that note guide out. These are listed there, and under each one, when we get to that part in the reading, make sure you're taking note. Don't forget your student guide. This is going to walk us through the lesson. And also we have our keywords and pronunciations, several pronunciations, but then also a couple of keywords here, such as medieval, which is an adjective that means relating to the Middle Ages. An icon, an image or picture usually painted on wood that depicts holy people or events such as the birth of Jesus. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go back to our lesson introduction. Constantine moved the capital of the Roman Empire to Byzantium. When the glory that was Rome faded in the west, the Eastern Empire continued to flourish, becoming the Byzantine Empire. So you can see how just the different ways you pronounce it, when that ending kind of changes the way you say the word. So I always have to pause and think. Eventually, this empire extended from Spain to the Black Sea and along the north coast of Africa. So here we've got a map here. We'll kind of zoom in more. But here you've got Spain. This is kind of the tip of Africa here. And so we're kind of focused here on the middle of that. The Byzantine Empire developed a new culture, exciting art, and remarkable architecture that still inspire awe today. Influences from both West and East came together in the glory and grandeur of the Byzantine Empire. All right, you're going to do a quick check and analyze maps and create postcards with Byzantine art. And this is just a check in on where you are. If we go over to the next page, it says check your reading. So this is where the quick check is. Review your reading, which was the introduction from pages 439 to 443. That's chapter 1 from the beginning of The Emperor Who Never Slept. So you're reviewing pages 440, review your reading, the introduction from 439 to 443, and then read chapter 1 from the beginning, so pages 445 to 450. So review your last reading and then read 445 to 450. Then do this quick check here. And so you'll answer these questions. You're going to select the statements that are true, and you will click check to see if you're right. And there is one more screen. So there's 2 slides of quick check. So make sure that you do both of those. Then you will continue on, and let's open up our student guide. It tells us to read today. So this was, I'm going to go back one screen here. Check your reading. So 439 to 450 is what we're checking on. And then activity 2 is going to have you to continue reading pages 450 to 453. Okay, so review 439 up to that point, and then 450 to 453 is the additional reading that you will complete today. As you read that, ask yourself these questions. This is where we're going to answer some of those objectives that we were talking about. Why was Justinian's code created, and why was it important? What were Justinian's major accomplishments as an emperor? Who was Theodora, and what were her contributions to the Byzantine Empire? And what is the Hagia Sophia? So make sure that you complete that reading as well. And actually that would be the Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia. All right. Then you're going to continue on. Use what you know. I was just checking to see if that was on the student guide as well. Byzantine art was a remarkable blend of Western and Eastern elements. The distinctive style of art could be seen in the frescoes and mosaics that adorn the walls of splendid buildings throughout the empire. Although the techniques varied, the subjects were frequently religious. Imagine that the Cosmopolitan Art Museum has decided to create 4 postcards to remind members about the Byzantine works on display in the museum. The museum has asked you to create cards from the following batch of pictures. The front will feature a photograph, and then you have to showcase 1 fresco, 1 mosaic, and 1 building and 1 icon. So I'm going to move to the next page. This is where you're going to access postcards to examine the available pictures for your postcards. And to help you identify and describe the style of art for the pieces, you're going to use your textbook as well as these 2 websites, okay? Because remember, you have to select 1 type of each. So use your textbook as well as these 2 websites, and then select your postcards and create them. Here at the bottom is the postcards that you're going to be creating. And you're going to click a picture. Remember, you have to select 1 of each type. That was a mosaic, a fresco, an image, and what was our 4th one? Fresco, mosaic, a building. Okay, so remember that you have to select 1 of those. And then at the bottom, select the postcard, and then you will click next. Let's say we select this one, click next. And then you'll type, just kind of like a description, type your text and then your text for the back of the card, okay? So that's just helping you to identify and take a look at the different types of Byzantine art. All right, and then focus on geography, location, location, location. Realtors and property owners alike agree that location is the most important consideration in buying and selling property. Citizens of Byzantium would certainly have agreed about the importance of their location. Do you? Use the chapter maps, atlas, and other information in your textbook to answer the following questions in your history journal or the online notebook. And that's just in your notes, so just make sure in your notes you've answered these questions, because you may need to refer back to those. Keep in mind that Constantine renamed the city of Byzantium Constantinople. And that same city is called Istanbul today. Here's the questions that you're going to be answering. In AD 527, what were the major bodies of water within the Byzantine Empire? What advantages could the bodies of water provide Constantinople? And use the maps and text to determine the importance of location to Byzantine and the surrounding empire. Describe at least 3 benefits. So tell me the benefits and maybe why they are benefits, because that's going to be description. Don't just list those, but describe, because you may need to refer back to that as well. All right, then you have your, you've completed the lesson, and you've got a quiz to complete. There is a read on, so you're going to continue reading for your next lesson, and it says follow the instructions in your reading guide. I guess this is the read on portion, so actually you could do that at this point instead of before, but just make sure that those questions are answered. All right, beyond the lesson, this is optional. This just gives you some more information and art from the following website, so feel free to visit those as well. And I will see you on the flip side. Look for that flip follow-up in your Class Connect session. Attend that live session for some fun games. We'll carry these topics further into practice. There will be a help lab following the flip follow-up, so if you have any questions on your history course, you can come to the help lab portion and ask. Have fun, and I'll see you soon.